In this video, I'll be going over the process of installing soft close undermount drawer slides. These specific slides are the Blum Tandem Undermount Drawer Slides. They're among the better made slides that I work with, and I have a lot of experience using them. I have a pretty good sense for the ins and outs as well as the little tips and tricks that go along with installing these slides, and so I thought I'd make this how-to video and share my techniques. The first step in the process is making the drawer boxes that will ultimately be housing this hardware. I'll first grab a measurement of the space where my drawers are going. The material thickness of my drawers is 5/8, and so I'll need to subtract 3/8 from the total measurement. It's a little complicated, but basically I'm trying to get the inner dimension of the bottom of my drawers to match the placement of my slides. Ultimately, what this means is if you're using 1/2-inch material, you'll subtract 5/8 from the overall dimension of your drawer opening, and if you're using 5/8 material, like I am, you'll subtract 3/8 from the overall dimension. I'm using 15-inch drawer slides, and so I'll cut my drawer sides to 14.5 since I'm using a half-blind dovetail machine to make the drawers. All you need to worry about is making your drawer depth the same as the drawer slides that you're using. For instance, if you're using 18-inch drawer slides, then your drawer should measure 18 inches in depth once it's all glued up. Something to be aware of is that all these slides are a 1/2 inch longer than the size labeled. So my 15-inch drawer slides actually measure just under 15.5 inches. I'll still be making a 15-inch drawer, but you'll need to consider this when choosing which slides will fit in your opening. When cutting your grooves for the drawer bottoms, be certain to start the first cut a 1/2 inch up from the bottom of your piece. This allows the clips and slides to be hidden and gives the slides good purchase on the underside of your drawer. After the drawers are all glued up, you'll need to cut out an opening for the drawer slides. The opening needs to be at least 1 1/4. In theory, you could just cut away the entire back portion of the bottom if you wanted to, but I prefer to make this channel for the slides instead. You can do this on the table saw or with a hand saw, depending on your preference. I'd say if you're making more than 6 drawers, it'll be faster to do this on the table saw. I'll set the fence to the thickness of my material and then make my first cut. Keep in mind we're only making cuts on the back side of our drawers. I do this little maneuver to get my cut on the opposite side of the drawer back. Once you've cut an opening for your drawer slides, you can grab a dull chisel and pop these blocks out with a mallet. A very fun and satisfying part of the process. Next, you'll need to drill a 6mm hole for the tab that sits on the back of these slides. This tab, along with the clips, is what locks the slides in place. I'm using a jig that Blum makes, but you can easily just drill a hole after referencing where the tab makes contact. Just make sure not to drill all the way through your material. There are a few different clips you can use with these slides, but I like using the clips with the side-to-side adjustment so you have some flexibility once everything is installed. I'll use a self-centering bit and some 5/8 number 6 screws to attach all my clips and lock the slides in place. Make sure that your clips are sitting flat once they're screwed in. You can see me checking that here. This ensures the drawer gets clipped in properly and sits level with the other side. Now we can mount our drawer slides. Something to keep in mind is that the bottom of the drawer will sit up a 1/2 inch from the bottom of your slides. You'll need to remember this when choosing the height for your drawer, as you'll essentially be losing a 1/2 inch. Setting the depth for your slide is going to depend greatly on how thick your drawer material is, how thick your drawer faces are, and whether your drawer face will be set in or flush. I'll let you decide the depth you need to set them to. That being said, I've found that for 1/2 inch boxes, the box sits proud of the slides about a 30-second, and about 5 30-seconds for 5/8 drawers. Now that the slides are set, I can put in all my drawer boxes. I like to make sure that the adjustments on the clips are zeroed out. This means setting the side to side so it's on the center mark, and then bottoming out the up and down adjustment. This makes fine-tuning the reveals for drawer faces much easier, and allows the drawer to be set as squarely as possible before we make any adjustments. Once I've hung my drawer faces, then I'll go in and make small tweaks that might be needed. To lock your drawers in place, simply place the drawer on your slides and then pull the slides firmly into your clips. To remove the drawer, all you need to do is push on the larger orange section on both clips. This will disengage the mechanism. To make adjustments to the height of your drawer, you can push this gray tab forwards or backwards. And then this wheel on both clips will help with any side-to-side adjustment you might need. The last available adjustment is located on the slide itself. Moving this gear will tilt the drawer if you find your drawer face isn't coplanar on either the top or bottom. I rarely use this feature, but it can come in handy if your drawer face isn't perfectly flat. Sometimes I'll find that my drawer depth wasn't set perfectly on one or two slides, and so I use this trick to make acute changes to the positioning. First, I take out the back two screws and then loosen the frontmost screw, but only enough so it's still seated. Then, depending on which way my slide needs to move, I can alter the position just slightly enough to fix the issue. While it's in the new position, I'll then use the self-centering bit to pilot two new holes for the new slide location. Drive in the back two screws, and then lastly the front screw we left in place. I find that this is the best way to make minor changes to my slide placement. I hope you found this video guide helpful. If you have any questions regarding the process I've laid out, please feel free to leave them in the comments section, and I'll do my best to help however I can.